Good. Welcome, everybody. So we just were hearing that Jessica is a real estate agent in Portland, and Terry is also a real estate agent in Atlanta. And Aisha she does websites for health and wellness businesses. And so, Christina, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah. Okay. So my name's Christina. I'm a realtor with Coldwell Banker in Los Gatos. It's kind of in the San Francisco Bay Area, Silicon Valley area. Still a new-ish agent. I've been an agent for a little more than 2 years. But I'd really like to focus on sustainable homes as much as I can. And that's kind of the niche that I want to get into. So
that's
me.
Awesome.
I'm with Coldwell Banker as well.
Oh, cool. And you were in, was it Portland?
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay, perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I'm so glad you guys are here. People might come in, so I'll just wait a few minutes to break into groups. Really what I like to do in this is not really to teach anything, but just to get everybody an opportunity to meet each other. I do also want to, so I have Kajabi for my membership, and I'm not sure if you all are members yet, but they are introducing this new platform. I don't really love the Facebook platform for groups, and I know I haven't been engaged on that as much as I probably need to, but this new community that they have looks really cool. So I'm trying to figure that out, and I might just invite everybody for free if they want to join there, because then that's another way you guys can connect with each other, and you just don't have to wait for these networking groups, but you can ask questions, connect, you can put a little bio on there that's about yourself. And I'm just trying to find solutions and ways for more forward-thinking agents to connect with each other, and also to connect you with healthy home professionals also, so that you can expand your network and be able to help your clients more. Sabrina is here, and she is my marketing assistant. So when you get a chance, say hi, Sabrina. We can't see your face.
Oh my God, sorry. I was trying to like prepare something really quickly for me to eat, so I'm like hurrying up to my laptop.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, before we break into groups, I think I'll just put people in pairs, since there's just 6 of us right now. And then we'll just switch around. But maybe you could go around and explain just like maybe one problem that you're having in your business right now. It helps me to know like how I can help you more. And also maybe it'll spark something inside, each one of us, because we're all at different, areas in our journey of our business. And maybe it'll spark something where we can help each other also. So Terry, why don't you start?
As far as, I'm sorry, you're saying issue?
Just a problem. Yeah, a problem that you have in your business. It can be as general as you're trying to get more leads, or there can be something specific that you're, working on.
Well, as Sabrina will know, mine is usually technology driven, but we finally were able to, did it go okay, Sabrina? Were we able to post anything else for Instagram?
Yes. Yeah, we're finally good to post.
Yeah. We were having a challenge with that. That was really being a challenge for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I feel like we're real estate agents and small business owners here. And being a small business owner, not only are we having to do our job, but we're also having to be marketers, and we're having to be admin people, and we're having to be accounting people. We have so many hats to wear. And what I've seen is that so many small business owners and real estate agents just have such a hard time with marketing that it becomes overwhelming. They just don't do it, or they'll dabble in it, do a little bit of it. And it's not enough to get attention from people. It's not enough for people to understand how you're different and how you, how you can help people. And so I'm putting together like a whole course. I'm excited about it, to just like explain that a little bit better and give you some tools to be able to help you clarify your message. But that's part of the reason why I want to also hear what your problems are, because then I can, speak to those things in what I'm creating for you. So, that's wonderful. So for Terry, it seems to be like, it's just the whole technology portion of it is really frustrating and overwhelming. So then you just end up kind of not doing it, right? Because it just takes too long to do anything. I get it. Yeah, right. Exactly. Okay, so what about you, Jessica? What's a big problem you have?
Yeah, so I
you know how you have a thing on your list that you want to do, and month after month it just like rolls over to the next month. So for me, that big scary task, probably not scary to Aisha, but it's creating my own website, which, you know, I've started on the back end, but the whole idea of like making it public and people looking at it is preventing me from making it go live.
Well, you know, here's my tip for that is like the minute you make it go live, nobody will probably see it for a little while. So
Exactly.
it's okay, right? Like
It's
don't
so true.
think that it has to be perfect. It's always going to be a work in progress. Just put it out there and then you have at least some place to people to go to, and people will give you feedback. Just ask them, tell them, you know, I'm trying to create a website that's different than other agents. I don't want it to be, you know, everybody goes to Zillow and Realtor to look up a home search. You
Yeah.
don't need that on your website, right? You don't need to have a real expensive thing, but you do need to have a calling card where people can come and find out about how you can help them. And you could spend thousands and thousands and thousands to get the prettiest website, but if you don't have a message that actually is clear and shares how you are different and what you do to help people and how you help, then it's not going to matter, because people are always looking for solutions to their problems, right? They're not looking for a realtor because people think all realtors are the same. So they can just wait until it's time to sell, and then they'll just pick whoever's selling the most on their street. So you want to be on the top of their minds like all the time, because you're helping them while they're living in their homes by being that person that connects them with the people that they're looking for and helping them with solutions. So when it does come time for them to buy or sell, you're the person they turn to because they already have a relationship with you, right? So
Totally.
that's great. Okay, well, so don't be scared. And now that Aisha's here too, maybe you can connect and talk about that. Okay, so Aisha, what you're going to have maybe some different problems. What is the problem that you have in your business?
So I guess in general, I'll say that while my niche is health and wellness, it's different parts. One of them being real estate. Then there's coaches, spas, massage therapists, and just trying to find out what each segment needs. While I do funnels and websites, and that's all great, and that's a tool, and I love doing it. How are they going to use the tool? What do they need the tool for? I kind of want to go deeper. And so when I come here, I usually say, I don't know anything about real estate. I just know it's like houses and stuff. But as far as the wellness part of it is really intriguing to me. And, you know, you all offer something so much different than just your typical real estate agent. And so I want to be able to try to support that and bring out what it is that makes you so unique, and how a lot of people may not even know that you're exactly what they're looking for, and what it is that you offer, and how to add that into, you know, a website or a funnel or whatever it is, kind of marketing, how to market that.
That's great.
So,
And actually, I don't know if you all know this, but I just released a book called Wellness Real Estate, Modern Marketing for Real Estate Agents. And so if you don't have that already, you can download it for free. It's not for free on Amazon unless you have Kindle Unlimited, but I can send you the PDF. And I just created a process where you can actually get the print book free if you pay the $6.95 shipping and handling. So I don't know if I sent that link to you yet. Before we're done, I'll put that in the link so you can download that book. But it just basically talks about what wellness real estate is and how, you know, that's a new trend that I think real estate agents, it's like such an opportunity to be able to talk about your business, because unless someone's looking to buy or sell right now, they probably don't really care about how the market conditions are. And the bottom line is, if you're not talking about your business with people, then people don't know how you're different. You can join so many different groups, you can be posting online and stuff, but if you're just, you know, making friends and they know you're a realtor, but they don't know how you're different than other agents, you know, why are they going to call you? Because everybody probably knows like 7 to 10 agents, and they probably don't want to make like an emotional decision when it comes time to sell. They want to make a logical one. So the logical decision would be, let's not choose among my friends. Let's, you know, pick the agent that sells the most, because that's the logical decision. So you want to be the agent that is connecting them with healthy home professionals. You're talking about how to live in a healthier environment because 79% of people want to live healthy, right? So teaching them and educating them positions you as an expert. It gives you something to talk about that people actually are engaged with. And then you also are networking with them and sharing resources that you know about that not every other agent knows about. And it just positions you as like their guide instead of most agents are like, look at me, I'm number one in the community. I sell the most homes. And that's being a hero, right? That's not being the guide. And everybody's looking for the guide, not a hero. So be that guide, you know, connect them with people that they're looking for, find out what the solutions or the problems are so that you can be the person that's finding solutions for them all the time. And then you'll be their go-to resource for kind of everything home. And it's not that you have to be the expert on everything, but if you know a handful of different experts that can help people, then you will still be the person that they turn to, right? So Aisha, I'll get you that book too, just so you can read about it.
Yes,
And,
thank you. Yeah, I was going to raise my hand. I'm like, yep, need it now.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so now Christina, tell us a little bit about a problem you're having.
Yeah, so I think it might be like a twofold type of issue. So, and it has to do with kind of like leads and building up my brand in this community. That's a big, you know, community when you're looking at Silicon Valley, and knowing that I want to focus on sustainable homes, and trying to find that amongst all the other homes. Because, you know, I don't have a budget to send mailers out to everybody, but you know, trying to focus on the more the homes that are a little bit more energy efficient, that have gone through some of these you know, upgrades and updates and everything like that. And so it's trying to find the places to market to. And I've worked with, you know, one of the title companies that we have over here, and they have, you know, kind of the solution to it, but it's very big brother, and very, I feel like very invasive when it comes to privacy, because it's looking at all those, like, these are the websites that people are going to, and you can look up the ones that, like, you know, sustainable things. And I'm like, I don't want to know what people are looking at online. I feel like that's a little bit too much. And so I'm like, I don't want to go that route. So how can I connect with these people in a more organic way? And so, you know, the lead generation, and then also kind of connected with that, when I started real estate, I was kind of real idealistic, like, oh, I'm only going to do like mailers every now and then, and I'm going to focus on like online because I don't want to be sending out like mail all the time that is most likely going to end up in the trash. And that's not realistic for, you know, especially a new agent, but any agent that's trying to, you know, build their brand and have like a long lasting business. And so that was something that I struggled with for a little while, is the waste that you know, we create as business owners when we're trying to get our name out. So those are kind of the two issues.
Yeah, well, it still goes back to your messaging, right? If you want an organic, I mean, I can totally resonate with the organic piece of it, because if you're going to your title company and you're getting names of people and like tracking what they're doing, it sort of feels like the ambulance chaser, right? Like you know, you want to attract people to you for who you are and how you help, not chasing a bunch of people and then, you know, trying to, not really taking advantage. It's just it kind of feels like sleazy a little bit, right? So I get it. But the best organic way to build your brand is really to just start sharing your values, share how you're different, start educating people and talking about what it is that you do and that you provide and that you believe in that is different. And even though there might not be, you know, a huge amount of sustainable homes out there, people might want to learn how to create, you know, how to make more sustainable choices in their own home, right? And I think when you start sharing some of those tips with people, they'll start learning that that's what you're all about, and that's, you know, that's what they'll be attracted to. The people that care about that will, that's what they're attracted to. So, hi, Sherry. Sherry's from Tampa Bay, and she's a real estate agent. She's just connecting too. Yeah, so does that make sense, Christina?
Yeah, no, it completely makes sense. And so, I tried with my Instagram like the first year when I was very posting more regularly, which I need to get back to that, I think the consistency and everything. But I tried to do like a Green Friday feature where I would talk about something people could do either in the home or the neighborhood. And it was hard to stay consistent with it. But yeah, I need to get better at that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, organic stuff is the long game, right? It's not going to be a short return. But once you start doing it consistently, and we have tools that can help you be more consistent with that, but just understanding what your messaging is and how you are going to help people allows you to have more conversations, especially if you're learning about sustainable homes and energy efficient homes and how to live healthy. That's a conversation you can have with lots of people. And just knowing like what's happening in the industry with agri-hoods that are being built and nature hoods and all these different communities, that's people haven't heard about that, right? So you could research what are the communities in your area that are wellness lifestyle communities and just use those as like lead in conversations. Like, oh my gosh, have you heard of this new community? And then you can start talking about healthy home. Then you can talk about what you believe and your values and how you try to help people. And then people are like, gosh, that's really cool. And you can say, well, follow me on Instagram because I put in, green tips all the time and how you can create a healthier home. And then you'll start nurturing them, and I'll teach you on, how to set up your email campaigns. I have emails within the membership, but I'm also working on I'm excited about it. It's a whole year's worth of emails that are like a nurturing campaign that converts people and kind of warms them up. But you're sharing with them kind of how your value in a regular kind of way. And so, I mean, one of the things that most agents don't do is they don't utilize their email list. People join, like you'll get someone's email at an open house and you put it in there and you think, okay, I'll send them on an MLS drip or something. And that's it. Or maybe you get to send them a newsletter once a month. And maybe that's it. And if your newsletter says it's a newsletter, and they won't probably read it because nobody wants to read newsletters, right? So you have to have a hook, and usually it's like the problem that they're facing is the hook because people are always looking for solutions to their problems. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can learn and dive deep into, but don't be overwhelmed because just take one little thing. Like if your social media is the one little thing you want to start working on, work on that. Everybody should start clarifying their message a little bit. And the one thing I would highly suggest is to get a book called Building Your Story Brand by Don Miller. If you don't have that, please get it. It's so good. And he has an audiobook and he is actually the narrator on it. So then you can hear him talk. And he just has such a good way of teaching people how to be the guide and not the hero. Your client is the hero. And being able to serve people and build a brand where you're the guide and you're helping people. You're no longer a salesperson trying to chase people down and coerce them into buying your product or service. You're the guide that's helping people. And at the end of the day, you probably got into this, job in the first place because you just want to help people. So, hi, Sherry, welcome. Yeah.
I don't know why, for whatever reason, I couldn't get in. So anyway, here I am.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't know if you heard any of this, Spot, but we've
I've been just going, hello.
Oh, okay, great. Well, we'd love to hear from you too. Sherry's a top agent in Florida, and so she's been around the block for a really long time. And I'm really excited that you're here too, because we have so many newer agents that just struggle with trying to build their brand. It can be such a grind. And so I want to have you like on a podcast or something so you can just share like top agent secrets or something about how to build your brand. So maybe, what are the problems that you're struggling with right now? That's what we were just touching on.
Well, I'll tell you, I think that what you're doing here in terms of building community and having people get together, there's just no substitute for that. I think that's wonderful. And I would encourage everybody, if you aren't already, get out as much as you can and communicate with other agents, especially since everybody's market right now, you know, different things are happening in different parts of the country. It's so powerful to do this. I've been on 3 Zooms today, and one is I'm part of a training group, and there's no one great answer, but I'm doing the, you know, Larry Kendall, the ninja system. I don't know if that's anything that's y'all are familiar with. But we've like embraced it at Sotheby's, and there's a group that I was already part of, a networking group, and then we're all doing a ninja together. So it's like 20 of us on the call, and it's just the accountability of every other week, and you get to hear what's going on across the country. And so then you're talking to people just like this that are not your competitors. They're not in your backyard. They're not sitting there, you know, in the office with you. There's a level of sharing that you can do with peers that are not in your marketplace that you just can't do other places. And so I say that, you know, as much as you can cross-pollinate, that's the best thing you can do. You openly, I had a peer who had a great email that's just sent out for Valentine's Day. And it was all about, you know, thank you to all my clients, you know, we just love y'all so much. This is a perfect day. It's a wonderful time to do that. And then it was like, leave a Google review. And then, you know, you have the option to, you know, I think it was a great dinner or something like that, you know, as you would be in a drawing. But it was so cool. I'm like, I called her and I was just like, I hope you don't mind. I'm literally going to copy you word for word. Is that okay? You know?
Yeah.
And she was okay with that. So it's nice. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. The thing that we're supposed to be concentrating on is talking to our people. And that was the other thing, I think, you know, that particular system, all of it's about, it's just, you're not going to convert strangers so much as it is just reach out to the people that know you and that you know, and make sure that you just stay in touch with them and make sure that that database is nailed. You've got your 200 or 300 people that you communicate with and create value for, and then they'll tell people about you. But that what Sheila's provided is so wonderful, and I should be better about utilizing it. But
That's okay.
but I think that like everything, you want to balance. And so I think we talk about art and science. It's good to have the science and it's good to have the art. You know, you got to have a balance of both. So with what we're talking about and what we're telling people about, you don't want to paint yourself, as I'm sitting here looking on the screen, you don't want to paint yourself into a little green box where people feel like, oh my gosh, she's the eco gal, you know, and I've got this house that I'm going to be too embarrassed to have her come and look at or represent because I wouldn't be the right inventory for her. So you kind of want to be a little inclusive and say that it's, you know, it's a continuum, it's a path. This is things that it's like a cafeteria. You take what you're ready for and leave what you're not, and we can gift wrap anything. So I would just say this is just another arrow in your quiver, and it's an area of expertise, but just don't paint yourself into too tight of a box. People still want to know that you are a masterful negotiator and that you are on top of the marketplace and that you are an effective communicator, and you know, you can, you know, a good marketer. So that's all.
That's such good advice, really, because I think that sometimes people think, gosh, there's not a lot of green homes. And what if I'm not the one who's getting all those listings? And what if, you know, someone wants to buy a house, but they're not exactly asking for those things? If I'm this agent that's talking about it, how can I help them too? Right. So you want to make sure.
And they love it when you've got that differentiator, but you haven't just said, that's all I am. That's who I am. And you know, it's more knowledge. It's that you're demonstrating that you care about your craft and you care about your profession to the point where I'm not just about the numbers. I know the numbers. I understand that that's important. It's an investment, but here's another nuanced, you know, overlay to whether this is a good investment or not. And here's something that maybe you might not hear from somebody else, but I'm going to give you that additional expertise. And that will get back to their friends and their neighbors and everybody like, wow, you know, she really helped, especially from a buyer's agent perspective.
Well, yeah. And I feel like if you can just surround yourself with a network of like even healthy home professionals, and you can,
bingo,
right?
Yeah.
If you can be that go-to,
great.
right? Like, oh gosh, I have a great mold inspector. Oh gosh, I have someone who can do a blower door test for you just to see if like, are you losing money every month at your windows? You know, just stuff like that. Then
value all the time. Yeah.
Right. So, but that's very good advice. I think also you just want to mention that if you're ever doing videos about yourself, you might want to mention in some of them, I help people from all, walks, and we can do this type of house or this type of house. But, if you're also looking for a healthier home to live in, I have a network of people that help, so that you are differentiating yourself, but at the same time, you're saying, I can help you too. That's great.
Yeah, I think just an asterisk on that. Another example is like Sotheby's and two of the franchises that I've worked with. I was a founding partner in Atlanta with Atlanta Fine Homes, and then down here, they both had their own version of this where it's like luxury is not a price point, it's an experience. And that's so that people would say, oh, I couldn't work with Sotheby's because my house isn't, that nice or that expensive. But if you're saying it's the experience, then you're opening things up a little bit. So I would just say, while we're holding our little green flag out and saying this is who we are, also just be inclusive. I can help you no matter where you are.
My problem is that I don't keep very good track of time, and I've realized that it's already. Hopefully, people don't have to leave at 2:00 on the dot, because I still want to break us up so that you can meet each other one-on-one. So I'll do that, and I'll just watch the groups, and if you have to leave, then I'll pop the person who's left into another group. So if you're stranded, don't feel like you'll be stranded for that long. I'll move you. So thank you everybody for sharing your problems. I'm gonna break you into small groups right now. Let me see, I gotta learn how to do this faster. Breakout rooms. Okay. And you're gonna have to hit join.
Hello.
Hi. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I've done so much of the talking. You guys go ahead and talk.
Oh, no, I was actually going to ask, Sabrina, you had mentioned that she helps you out with the marketing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how have you guys found, kind of doing the wellness, healthy home stuff? How have you found that marketing wise, like to be most effective, and how do you like it?
I think that you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's like my first time in like the wellness space, so it's definitely been a learning curve. But I think it's great to see how it keeps growing. Like I was telling Sheila a couple weeks ago how when I first started out, it was really difficult to like market to wellness agents or green realtors, because I just felt like there was not that many. But for some reason in the last year, like the past couple months, there's been a lot of growth in that area. So I think it's just cool to see like how it keeps growing. So it makes it easier for me too, to kind of do that job and like reach out to people and like market to those like specific realtors. So yeah, it's definitely like still learning curve and stuff, but it's good to see how it keeps growing, because it just makes it better for me. I keep learning more. So
well, and I will have to say that like for a long time, I didn't really want my face on stuff. Like I felt like I want to present this professional brand. It doesn't have to be about my face. I don't love it when agents are like, look at me, I'm number one. And I didn't want to be that. Like I just wanted to like help people. And so I didn't even know if I wanted to have like Sheila Alston anywhere. And so I would just create these beautiful things. And then, my message was kind of all over the place. And, I feel like I'm dialing in my message better now because I'm learning how to do it. And I feel like now, like Sabrina and I just got together this week because I'm like, okay, look, I need to get more members for my membership, and I really need to grow this. Otherwise, I'm just spending a lot of time and energy for nothing. I mean, the people who are members like love what I'm doing, but if this is going to work, I want to help more agents grow their business and clarify their message and grow their brand. And there's so many agents who just, there's so many different marketing strategies, like which one are you supposed to implement? And when you have only this much amount of marketing dollars, what tools should I use? It can be very confusing. So if you think about your clients too, like, I think the best thing to do is like, what are their problems? Because if the only problem you think of is like that they're looking to buy a house or sell a house and that's all you talk about, I feel like that's too broad, right? There's lots of different problems people have. Like maybe one of the problems is, you know, they don't understand the lending process. Or, I mean, it can be very transactional, right? You could go through the transaction and think of all the problems that they don't know, and you can speak in your social media to what that is, educate them on that. And like, even as far as lending, like, did you know there's a green mortgage? What is a green mortgage? And like learning about those steps and being able to talk about that with people. I can connect you with someone who understands green mortgages, but the reason why they're not a big thing is because there's not a lot of realtors that know how to do them, right? So if you can be that agent who knows how to do them, who talks about that, that's one problem that you could like help people solve, is how to get energy efficient features rolled into their mortgage. You know, maybe they don't even know that they can do that. And you can talk specifically about all sorts of problems that people have. And then your feed ends up being really value added. People will go, and every time you're talking about a new problem, and be like, wow, this girl knows her stuff, right? So like, that's what I'm trying to do too, is like, I need to talk more about the problems and not just always be about like, here's my membership, here I have tools for you. Like I need to, right? I need to talk about, how is this going to help you? What is the problem you're dealing with? And how can I be the guide for you to help you through this problem, right? That's going to be, if we can learn to do that well, then you're no longer selling. Just like all your stuff is ending up being lead generation machine for you. Like your emails will be that way, your social media will be that way, your conversations that you have with people will be that way, because no longer are you like, someone says, what do you do? Oh, I'm a realtor. You know, if you say that, you're like in the bucket of realtors that they all know, right? Everybody's the same. But if you can clarify what your elevator pitch is, and it starts with a problem with, gosh, you know how people are, you know, I need to think about this, but start with a problem like, you know how people are, oh, did you know that people are getting sick in their homes all the time? You know, because there's this thing called sick building syndrome. And I help, you know, I'm a real estate agent, but I specialize in helping people learn how to create a healthier home. And they'll be like, what? Because they never heard of that anymore. It just opens a whole story loop where all of a sudden you can start talking about your business in an organic way that's not salesy. You're educating somebody, and you can invite them to join, you know, follow your Instagram because you provide healthy home tips, you know, and that's not a sale. That's just a, you know, I'm helping people all the time, right? And then they're like, oh, and then once you get consistent on this, I was just telling Sabrina, like, I've noticed every time you post, you usually will get one new follower. So why are we not posting for free more often, right? Because you're really trying to grow your following. If you're only doing it once a week and you get one new follower a week, it's going to take a long time, right?
Right.
So why are we not scheduling out, you know, a batch at a time and doing a whole month of, you know, you could do one or two a day. You could do like lots of, you know, it's just, it takes having a strategy and a plan and some resources and tools that can kind of help you make that easier. But yeah, I feel like I'm talking all the time, and I'm sorry. I hope
But you're like bringing really valuable insights. So
okay,
it's all good.
Okay, good. I'm so glad.
But yeah, no, that's like one of the hard things. Is like getting like the content together to put out there. And I know for a while I was like, no, I need to do, like, I already did that, so I can't do that. But I'm like, well, I posted that like 9 months ago, I can post it again. So kind of like getting in that time frame or that mindset that, you know, things could be like repurposed and reposted. But also, you know, I'm not very consistent with social media. I was better when I started out with real estate, but it's kind of been put on a back burner a little bit. So getting back to that like consistency, and that's really hard, I think, for a lot of agents that are trying to, you know, build their brand on social media and everything, it is that consistency and having the content, having a day, like you were saying, like to do, batch content and everything like that and have it ready to go and scheduled. That I think is hard for a lot of agents, myself included. And then, like I love the idea of a healthy home, a sustainable home. But when you're walking through these homes, like they don't look any different than any other home for the most part. Like people aren't gonna walk through and be like, oh, I could tell that the floor is insulated and the ceiling is as well. Like they don't know that stuff. And so, it's like, how do people get kind of, excited about it or knowledgeable about it when it doesn't look any different? Like, I don't think sometimes people have a hard time, like kind of differentiating. They're like, well, it looks the exact same as, that other home. It's like, well, this one has this and that. And it's and, like the windows are like dual pane or something like that. So I find that that's pretty interesting when it comes to like more of the healthy homes and trying to do that. Because there's, in this area, specifically in Silicon Valley, there's a lot of people who are interested in having sustainable homes. It's not uncommon to see homes with EV chargers and power walls and solar. All of that's really, really common out here, but it's not something that I think people think about in terms of like a healthy lifestyle.
Well, but that's where you can kind of have that conversation, right? That's where nobody's talking about it. So you can start talking about that and be the one that's sharing with people checklists. Like if you're looking for a home that saves you money every month and that is more comfortable to live in, talk about the benefits with people. You're going to want to look for some of these things in some houses. And nowadays, especially in Silicon Valley, there's many that have them. And so here's a healthy home checklist. The reason why these are important, the reason why this type of flooring is not a good idea is there's probably formaldehyde in it, off-gassing in your home. Don't be completely scared of it because there are ways you can mitigate that, and you can paint it with like safe coat stuff, to make sure that it's not off-gassing anymore. But you do want to be aware, especially if you're someone who suffers from allergies and who suffers from asthma and who has chronic illnesses, like your immune system is down. So you want to make sure that your home environment is supportive of well-being, right? And so you can talk about all of these little steps on your, just any of these pain points that people have, just talk about in your social media and create, little tools that people might need, like a buyer's guide for a healthy home. And that just sets you apart. And you'll notice, like, if you go into a home and you're looking, you'll be asking different questions to the listing agent, right? Like you'll ask, do you know about this? Do you know about that? And when your clients see that you're asking about, are these windows double pane? Do you know what the utility bill is on this? How does it compare to the neighbors? Just stuff like that. Then they see that you're, a different kind of agent. So yeah. I think that's good. You're doing good. And I don't know, Christina, are you a member of Wellness RE Pro?
I'm not. I'm trying to think like how I got connected with your Instagram, because that's where I know about you guys. And I don't know when it happened that I started following, but I was like, yeah, no, if it's a company that's focused on like wellness and on like healthy homes and has kind of a kind of maybe somewhat of a focus or part focus on real estate, I'm like, oh, I definitely want to know more about that. But I haven't got involved with the program. I don't know too much about it.
Okay, well, I mean, you can go to HealthyHOMEmedia.com and look us up. We have 2 different magazines. It started out as just a magazine where it was the Wellness Real Estate magazine, but I've had so many people who aren't agents who also want to send it to their clients that I created a new cover called Healthy Home Magazine. So whichever one resonates with you, we publish every month, and I have healthy home experts every month who write articles on how to create a healthier home. I have like a home biologist, a wellness architect, a biophilic designer. I have feng shui people. Like they're always giving great tips, and strategies for how to create a healthier home. So it's like, you don't have to be the one that's always educating people. You can basically just send out our magazine, and I have branded mobile issues also that allow you to have a feature story about yourself and a coupon. You can include like a you know, a download link to your free guide or something on your, at the bottom of every mobile issue. I also have a publisher who will print printed copies that are branded to you if you ever want that for an open house or for an event that you have. There's no contracts to sign for the published stuff. It's just there for you if you need it. And it is a membership, and you just join. I think the branded ones it's $52 a month, but you'll get social media every month. You'll get graphics and captions and reels, and you'll get this magazine that you can send out to your entire list. So it kind of just takes a whole load off of you having to create so much content yourself. The only thing that you will need to create is the stuff with your face on it, and the stuff that's specific about your local brand, because ours is about creating a healthy home. And so if you mix those two things together, then you can have something for every single day of the month, and you're providing value. And you know, it's $52 a month. It's like a no-brainer. So yeah, so join us, because you can then be a part of our member community too. And we'd love to have you. And I'm also just implementing so many new things right now. Like I said, I'm working on a year of email scripts. I'm working on having a marketing, like a course for setting up your marketing strategy and stuff. And I'll provide that to members, or like a la carte if people just want to buy just that. I know that sometimes people don't like memberships, but I feel like, oh, time is set up. Keep it. Okay, we're going to close this in a minute. So I'm going to hit close. I think that 60 seconds during the main session. Okay, so we have 60 seconds. But yeah, so check out Healthy Home Media. And I think, do we have your email? Like, put your email in there, and I'll send you the link for the free book. And I'll even put in a 3 months trial if you want. I'll send you a link to a 3 months trial, and then no reason for you to not try it.
That would be awesome. You said put my email in the chat, or?
Yeah, put it in the chat. And then,
okay.
Yeah, and then that's great. Everybody's still here, so we'll.
Okay, cool. So I threw it in there. I don't know if it's only the room one.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, Sabrina, will you write that down? Will you keep track of everything that's in that? And I don't know if because I might have to just email everybody the link to that book thing, because I'm still setting it up. So
yeah, that's exciting.
Just
Okay.
let everybody else just
There we
have
go.
to wait to get booted out.
Okay, there we are.
Okay. All right. So do we have time for another breakout session, or do people have to go? Because it's 2:15 already, and I want to be conscious of everybody's time.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
That's
Okay.
yeah.
So I'll do another breakout session. Let's see. And I'll open all rooms. Okay. If you're in this, hopefully, well, Aisha, who were you with before?
I was with Terry.
Okay, so I'm gonna send, okay, we're gonna move to a different room. Move to a different, and let's see, move to room 3, and then Sherry, move to room 1. Okay, here we go.
Many hours.
Oh no. Oh, Sheila's with us.
Hi. How many
Hi.
people, or who did you talk to last time?
Who
Who
did
did you talk to? Yeah.
Oh, I was with the Aisha.
Oh, nice. Okay. And was that helpful? Good?
Yeah, I talked to her, maybe we'll touch base and maybe she can work on our website, for the,
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll
Yeah, I
see.
need to talk to her too and find out like some examples and see what she does.
Right.
Because before you spend money on building a website, I really want you to dial in your message, because that's more important. I mean, you do need a website too, but like if you're saying the wrong thing, then it doesn't matter how beautiful it is. People won't stop there.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the thing for me, Sheila, actually, it was ironic that Tori, when I saw Tori's thing, and I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly the look, and that's the image, you know, feel, you know, with my health holistic background and as a health coach, all of those things just kind of come into play. So it's that message, that type of message, you know, I want to put out there about
Good.
wellness, you know, holistic health in your home and your life. It's all interconnected. If you're living in a home that's, if you know, you're exposed to so many toxins now, you know, we've got this big issue now with the gas ranges they're talking about.
I know, which I just talked to the green building guy, Andy Pace, who was on my podcast. And you know, he said, you know, a healthy home isn't necessarily the same thing as an energy efficient home all the time, right? Like sometimes a sustainable and energy efficient home has different priorities than a healthy home does. And so he said, for instance, you know, if you have, you know, an electric home will want the induction range, right? An electric range to cook because there's no off gassing or whatever. But if you are susceptible to EMF or you have any chronic condition, like you don't want an induction range, because the minute you put your hand on that pot, you're part of that electromagnetic field of the range, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I can't have that. That's what I was gonna like try to talk my husband into getting. And I was like, oh my gosh, now what do we do? And he said,
I know,
well,
I think
you
we're
know,
gonna have to do a campfire pretty soon. It's like,
yeah, well, he said there's a degree. He said that's why he created this degree of green thing, where it's kind of like being on your own nutritional journey, right? There's not going to be a one size fits all. So even being in a healthy home, like you got to make choices that resonate with you personally. And you know, there's no judgment for, you know, if your house isn't sustainable enough or green enough or whatever. It's just like educate people and let them make choices that work for them. So for me, when he was telling me about that, he's like, well, if you get a gas range nowadays, especially if you're getting a luxury brand, they're all completely sealed. So they're not off gassing your house except for when you're using it. So as long as you make sure that you have really good ventilation, you turn it on every time you're cooking, maybe you open some windows.
I started doing the window thing too.
Maybe that's a better choice. Yeah, because maybe that's a better choice for you than getting the one with the EMF, you know? Or maybe if you don't want the induction, you could get just like an electric one. But, you know, I was talking to Michelle Ipperson, and she's like trying to convince me to get the electric one. And I'm like, I'm building in a luxury neighborhood where people expect the professional brand of something. I can't put in an electric range. That'll devalue my house. Like what? And so she's like, okay, well, if you're very insistent on this, then you need to make sure you have windows right there and you open them up and you have the, you know, fan. So I feel like it's simply about just educating people on there's a range of choices and you got to feel good about making the choices right for you. And people like that, you know, because then you really are being their guide.
Right. I mean, that's something I would, you know, want to post because people are very confused about that, you know. But here again, ventilation, if you, like you say, I open my windows are right there. So I always open up a window now in particular. I was kind of doing it before, which was weird. I don't know why. I just started. And, you know, with the fan and the window. So, because I am very sensitive. My husband says I should work for the FBI or something. I smell everything. I'm like, this is off. And I was smelling something, you know, kind of the gas, I guess, you know, I was the methane. I could smell something out of one burner in particular. And so anyway, so I'm like, okay, don't use that burner. Don't use that burner.
Yeah. Well, and look at it like a gift. You know, there was an agent I talked to, and she literally had these chronic conditions that were happening forever. And her husband was a physician. She's like, oh my gosh, they had bought a new house in Beverly Hills. And she's like, this is a new house. I don't know why I'm getting sick all the time. There's something wrong with me. And her husband did all these tests on her. and nothing was getting better. She couldn't figure it out. She had like mold people come. They like tested the air. They couldn't find the mold. They couldn't. He thought she was going crazy. She thought she was going crazy. They ended up getting a divorce. It was like this terrible thing that she went through like for years because she knew that she wasn't crazy and that something was wrong. Turns out the person who built the house, it wasn't a brand new house. It was a remodel. And they had used the old foundation and then built, you know, like didn't build a new foundation, and the foundation had cracks in it, and they had just put like a Tyvek or some wet barrier over it, so mold was growing underneath at the foundation level, and it was coming out under the refrigerator when the refrigerator was running, or it was something like that, and it was a mold issue, and it was breaking down her immune system and making her sick. So now she is like, she can taste the different kinds of mold, and she senses, like she knows what they are. She can go in and smell something and say, this is that type of mold. And so she's like, she's a real estate agent and a mold expert. But there's so many agents who are like, I don't want that because you're going to like disrupt a sale. Like you're going to cause problems, right? Because I don't want, and she's looking at like, no, this is a gift. You want to help your client, educate them. There's mitigation people that can come mitigate that for you, and you don't need to be scared of it, but you do not want to live with that in your house.
Exactly. You know? I mean, the thing here, radon is a big one here, you know. In Atlanta, Stone Mountain, which is this park, but it has, this is where they have this carvings on, so on this mountain per se. But a lot of these communities, in fact, I sold the house and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to make sure that they do a radon, because the woman or one of the people were going to live on the lower level if she wanted to remodel, do that. So I'm like, make sure that they, you know, do the test, make sure they have the ventilation going out, you know, that air, because she's going to be down there where some of the utilities are now, you know. The tank and the HVC, you know, all of that is going to be there.
And it's a silent, they say it's like you can't smell it, right? So you don't even know. It's like carbon monoxide.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, but things like that, you know, but the mold, just, I mean, we know we live in a world that's just, we're just exposed to everything.
And there's ways you can share that without creating like fear and being a fear monger. There's ways you could talk about it and say, you know, that you're just bringing awareness to this, that there are tools and things out there to mitigate all this, but you want to be aware of it and you want to start paying attention to your own body and your own self. If you find that you're chronically sick in your house, like that's a clue for you not to just say, oh, I don't know why I'm getting sick all the time and do nothing about it. Like be your own investigator and start, you know, picking up clues and eliminating some toxins in your house and see if you feel better.
Exactly. I mean, that's where it starts. I mean, we got to do that. But anyway, I do want your book, because I didn't get it because I think it was saying use a Kindle and all of that, and I didn't.
Oh yeah. So I'll just send you the free PDF, and if you want the free print copy, you can do that. It's just $6.95 shipping and handling. I'm building out the whole thing right now, but I think I'm pretty close. So I'll email you either tonight or tomorrow.
Okay.
So you can just decide which one you want. Yeah.
Okay.
And I actually put you in there. You're in the book.
Oh, okay. Did you get to, Sabrina, did you get to mention the NAR, the green designation wasn't on, it was like maybe the issue, it may have been December's issue or something. It didn't have that for me on there.
Oh.
The NAR, okay. Were you able to add it or correct that?
Let me see. We're still working on the issue, so once we like look at it, we'll
Okay. Yes. Yeah, we'll double check that.
Okay, because it was there and then it went away.
Well, and send us your new address and stuff, because we got to update your profile.
I'll do that. Right. And I'm, you know, I was talking to Aisha a little bit, but I'm going to have our listing, our concierge service through Co-op Banker, creating go for me and they will pretty much put all the things together that I need, so I want to get all that done in the next 30 days here, hopefully get it all done.
Okay.
And that'll help
Good.
too. That way they can brand me, with whatever, else I have.
So you'll be on their website, but then you'll also have your own landing page, right? The other thing
Right.
you can do too is like, I think I want to help our agents build like funnels. Do you know what a funnel is?
Well, that's what she mentioned. Aisha mentioned.
Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
a sales funnel is where you have a lead magnet. And I think, the magazine might drive some traffic to your website, but it's not enough to give people like to be the lead magnet. The lead magnet would be something like, a healthy home guide for buyers, or your resource list, your local whatever, something. But it needs to be such a good thing that people will want to give you their email for it. When they get
Right.
that thing that's free, then they're automatically added to your email list, so you can start emailing them. And that's what a funnel is. It basically takes them in, and then you email them a series of emails that kind of nurtures them and tells them how you're different, tells them how you solve these problems, asks them to follow you on your social media, and they're kind of then all of a sudden in your realm, right? And you've got all these campaigns that are kind of on autopilot that are just serving them, so that by the time they're ready, they'll reach out to you and they feel like they know you already because you've been providing all this value and giving them stuff. So it's a good thing to have, and I don't think very many agents have it, So we'll work on that too. You think about what it is that you can have as your lead magnet. And right now I'm working on these year of like nurturing emails, but I also want to have like emails to include in your sales funnel and that kind of stuff. So I'm working on a lot of stuff, and I want to put all that in the membership. So
yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great.
And then the other thing that we're working on is I'm partnering with a whole team of like, it's a marketing agency, so that right now, so that it's no longer just me and Sabrina, so that I can provide full service stuff for people, like from SEO, because there's search engine optimization is so that people can find you on Google, right? And then there's brand management that gives you the tools so that you can ask for a Google review and make sure that your website is optimized and stuff like that. There's all of that. And then there's social media that would be full service social media. So not just our auto posting, but a group of people that would, either get your pictures or send you prompts, so that basically all you do is read a script and create a video of yourself, and like has a full monthly batch process where all you have to do is go in and approve them, super awesome. And then what was the other thing? Brand management, SEO, social media, and ads. And so, but you wouldn't do ads until all that other stuff is kind of built out, right? But what's great about that is that I can provide these full service things too, because I was like, how can I help people who really want more help, but it's just me and Sabrina, and I don't want things to fall through the cracks, right? So having this partnership with this other agency is going to allow me to provide, a full kind of a la carte. So that's the other thing I'm working on, is to provide like a list of other things if you're interested in having more service to help you with that. So I'm excited for all
of that. I'd be too happy.
Yes, exactly. We're working on it. Okay, so now we have a minute left.
Okay.
So did you like today? I'm sorry it ran over, but did you feel like?
No, I thought it was fine. Because I missed last time.
Yeah.
And no, it was great. It was helpful, and got to meet some new people too.
Good. Okay.
Chat there, so always good information.
Good.
Okay. Thank you, Sheila.
You're welcome. I'm gonna try. I've got this new community thing too that I want to try. And what's cool about it is it's already in the member portal, so I think it'll be easier to use than having to go back on Facebook. So
Okay.
look, you might be getting another email that just says join this community, and that's what it's for. So,
Okay.
okay.
Real quick question. So when it says, when I clicked on the email that you sent and it said the two options, if you want to switch options, but I haven't really seen the Healthy Home one per se. Do I need to click on that?
Yes, you do, so that it'll add it to your library.
The main session.
Sorry, I need to answer a question it just stopped it. Oh, there she is. Okay, did everybody get value from our networking session today? Hopefully you made some new connections.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Terry just asked me a question because she is a member of Wellness RE Pro, and she asked about Healthy Home magazine because I just introduced that last month or in January, where you could pick a different cover. The reason why I have them as two different kind of memberships is because Wellness RE is really focused on the real estate agent, and Healthy Home also includes any small business that wants to, that maybe they're a green builder, or they're a water filtration company, or they're somebody that provides home services that make it healthier or more enjoyable to live in. If they want to send that magazine out, then they can send Healthy Home. And so the captions I create and the tools are going to be not generic, but they're not going to be as real estate specific. So, you know, if you are a current member, you can kind of pick and choose if you want to send Healthy Home or if you want to send Wellness RE magazine. Sometimes people resonate more with the title of Healthy Home. I think if there's enough agents who want to have both, I might just, offer that to you. It's just, I was trying to keep it separate because I don't want to confuse people who aren't agents, with so much agent specific lingo. But if you do want the agent specific lingo, then Wellness RE Pro has it all. So, but I don't know, like Sherry, what is your take on the magazines? Like, which one resonates?
I like it. You know what? I like both of them, and I could flip. I could make a case for either one of them.
Okay.
I'm sitting here, and I think I was telling Jessica, I'm kind of like in a holding pattern because as a company, Premier Sotheby's is about to roll out the back at you, the social media management, so that we can plug everything in there. And I'm like, it's supposed to happen before the end of the month. So at that point, then I'm going to shove everything in there and then have it all integrate into one. The things that I'm working with from you, as well as the things that I'm working with from Sotheby's, and then my own thing. And that's the whole idea, is that they want you to kind of funnel it all through one thing.
Yeah.
So,
well, and then also, do you know that you can embed the magazine on your website? So you can pick whichever one you want, and just, that way when you're talking about it, you can be like, well, go to my website because there's a free magazine and helps you live healthier.
I looked at and thank you for the tutorials on how to add your article.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
Very good. I like that.
Good.
I'm kind of like, yeah. My website at this point is through the company I used to have. I mean, my own URL that I've had for 20 years, I guess, at this point. I now just point to my agent page that I do have some ability to work with. I have partner calendars that are on there. I have a page dedicated to that, and I'll have a page dedicated to to wellness real estate when I can get back in there. Right now I'm locked out for some reason. Anyway,
okay.
So I just, it used to be keeping up with a website. I kind of decided to just sort of zero in on what is my strength, what am I good at, and what do I need to not maintain anymore myself or pay for somebody to maintain. So I'm doing that. But yeah, I'll be able to do that. I'll have a dedicated landing page for that, I promise, soon.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate it. And I will post this inside our group. And like I said, there's a new community platform that's on Kajabi that I think is going to be better than the whole Facebook thing. So you'll probably get an invitation to that soon. I got to figure out how to do it. And then I will post this kind of stuff in there also. And then that way it's an easier way to connect with each other, because you can, I think you can put stuff about yourself in there, and then you can find the other people who are in the group and just connect. So you don't have to wait for these networking sessions to meet people. If you want to do it, you can do it in the community. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Sheila, remember the
Bye.
PDF
Together.
for me?
Oh yes, can you do one last thing? Put your email in here and Sabrina's gonna mark it down for me. And I'll send an email out with the link for the free book if you don't have that. And if you have any other questions, you can always email me. And I did implement like office hours. So if you're inside the membership and you ever have a question or something, you want to just schedule office hours with me, I'm doing them every Friday at like 10 a.m. Pacific time. So you can always just sign up for that, and whoever shows up, we can go through challenges and questions you have.
Sabrina, would you send it to me? I know you know my email.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So if you put your info in the chat, then we're all good.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
Nice meeting you
Okay.
all.
Have a great day.
Bye.
All righty.
Thank you.